Alright, so it's been a long time on this channel since I've done a collection by going through a collection. This is one of 3 boxes that I'm going to go through in 3 separate videos. The seller told me this one was mostly bulk, but every now and then you find a few rares in there, so that's what we'll go through now. I'm not exactly sure what all's in here. I paid more attention to the rare cards when I was figuring out the deal. But some white border Hoth, that's good to see. I got this collection in from somebody who lives about 2.5 hours away. We met in a Walmart parking lot. That's how it usually goes when buying collections. And Coruscant Commons, nice. So it looks like we're in characters here. I'm going to go through real fast, maybe pause if something catches my eye. Okay, Endor, nice. So, not just Cloud City and Jabba's Palace. Death Star Gunners, those are decent. A lot of people like to blow up the Death Star decks. He adds to the Destiny there. Get my divider down. Whoops. So I will pick up, oops, he was in the back. And let's see, Death Star Troopers, lots of those. So these are, okay, I think there's some alphabetization here. That's going to be a nice one sorting through later. I might make some common and uncommon sets. If I don't have enough cards, I'll mix them with the commons and uncommons I already have. Okay, yeah, so this is Imperial stuff now, Squad Leader. Alright. And this is, this is kind of the speed I usually go through collections at. But, let's see, is that a 2000? So, one of the, I wouldn't really call it frustrating, but one of the things you got to watch out for when going through Endor, especially, well, any set really, but Endor, there's a lot of cards that were reprinted for the starter decks, so I don't want to put starter deck cards in with my regular Endor common and uncommon sets. With the earlier sets that had stuff reprinted, you can usually tell the difference a bit easier in terms of the card quality of, I don't know, Dark Maneuvers, for example, in the reprint is so much better than the card quality, I might say that backwards. The card quality of the reprint Dark Maneuvers is so much better than the original premiere, so it's glossier and the color's a bit sharper. I like Stormtroopers. It stinks that they're Destiny 1. They're bad enough already, but I guess they're among the most common cards in the game because, like Rebel Troopers, 3 of them are actually, okay, so these aren't really rares, but they're premium cards, but those guys, they come in the official tournament sealed deck. So I'm going to set rares, or at least non-commons and uncommons off to the side here. And now we're into aliens. And yeah, I really do appreciate how organized these are. Another premium card. So, considering how organized this collector was, I'm sure we're going to find a bunch of premium cards in here, but this is probably not the place to find the rarer cards, and I asked him to set the really rare cards aside for me for when I bought the collection, because of course you don't want to buy it sight unseen. And I know a lot of people find, somebody's whole collection for $200 at a garage sale or on Facebook Marketplace, but usually I try to find, or people come to me and say, hey, I got this collection for sale. Okay, well, nice. So that is a good card. He's a little bit worn, but this is definitely a card I sell as a single, so that's awesome. Alright. I wouldn't necessarily call him a main. Oh, Mercenary Pirates. The pilots, those are good. Okay, so already a much better card than I was expecting to find in the bulk box. And aliens, you're going to see a lot of junk in here, but that's the way microwave things. Skrillings are cool at least. They let you steal devices and other things. Tuskens, Ugnaughts. Started to like Ugnaughts in the retro formats because you can, you know, put one copy of Vader's lightsaber in your deck or whatever it is, and then use an Ugnaught to go get it. If you lose it, I should say. Because I don't really like all the ones floating around in my deck. Okay, we'll see if I can get through this before my thumb gets tired. Banthas. Some cloud cars. Probably a combat cloud car coming up next. Yep. Dewbacks are cool. Lift tubes are less cool, but still interesting. Racing Skiff, that's a premium card from the Jabba's Palace sealed deck. Regular Skiff, I like speeder bikes. Tempest Scouts. Okay. So I don't even know if you can tell in the video, but the one on the right is the reprint and the one on the left is the original 1995. So, oh, okay, Black Squadron tie. And another Black Squadron tie. And Dreadnought, just one Dreadnought, that's okay. Pretty good shape. Obsidian ties. If you see any rares or premium cards I miss, go ahead and comment. I'd appreciate that. I'll be going through this again, but it's nice to get some help on this. Sometimes you get distracted talking about reminiscing on some card or the other, and then you don't notice a rare. TIE Defenders are cool. Regular TIE Fighters. Lots of those. TIE Interceptors. Yeah, this is really well organized. A different system than I would do. I just go by set, then by type, but makes perfect sense, especially if you're building decks, is the goal. But I have so many decks built already, and I edit them occasionally, but it's only right before I'm about to go play with a friend. Ooh, I see a purple card out of the corner of my head. There, hey, there's the other Dreadnought. Pod Racers. Darkside Space Slug is an uncommon. Lightside is a rare. Alright. So these are actually uncommons. Those might go into Coruscant common and uncommon sets. Now we're into Lightside. That was a bit sudden. Gosh, with the length of this one, I might just go through 2 columns and then do a whole nother video. We'll see. An uncommon, but still a very cool card. He can take on a Star Destroyer by himself. There's a couple Tournament Sealed Deck premiums. We'll have probably a couple Red Squadron X-Wings coming up. So a bunch of red ones. Red Squadron 4, maybe a Red Squadron 7 after that, and then hopefully a couple Red Squadron X-Wings. Cool cards from the sealed deck. One, alright. X-Wing, and we got, okay, that's from the first anthology. Bunch of regular Y-Wings. More Y-Wings. Z95. Naboo Fighters, they're commons, but kind of a fun card. I've built decks with them before, and then they became really popular in a hidden base deck I've seen. Rebel Cruisers. These guys are cool. They're starfighters, high forfeit value, and they have ability to do pilot, but Destiny of 1 kind of hurts them. Decent amount of white border A New Hope and Hoth. Oh, Racing Skiff, Rebel Snowspeeder. That's from the Empire Strikes Back 2-player game. Okay. So for what could have been just bulk commons and uncommons, it's already off to a great start. It's a decent stack of non-common cards. We'll do another row and then see where we're at on time. I might have to make multiple videos just for this one box. And it is a, I don't even know what the count on this one is, but the 3200 count boxes have 4 rows and are shorter. Lots of bad orders, good. That's a good uncommon effect. Nothing terribly awesome there. Okay, so some good uncommons here. Well, that's 3 in a row, really. Established Control is worth a couple bucks, honestly. It's some of these Coruscant uncommons, especially ones that are still used today, whether they're virtualized or not, are can fetch a couple bucks even for just being uncommons. Mobilization points. That might be a common, but I used to see it in so many decks. Ooh, political effects. A lot of these are worth a couple bucks. Power of the Hut, nice. Okay. So considerably fewer red cards have rares in them than the characters and starships we were going through. Whoops. Okay. So we're getting towards the end of the alphabet here in effects. We'll go on. Yeah, it's going on to interrupts. I think I'll probably just do 2 columns for the sake of this video. I like this card a lot. Let's go get a Tusken Raider or Bantha. Or you can use it for weak weight decks too. But just a nice used interrupt. It's Destiny 4, but that's usually a pretty good Destiny for most things. Unfortunately, if you want to play Tusken Raider decks, and you want to use Scum and Villainy, and you want to use Banthas have ability technically, so that cancels out Scum and Villainy. I think there used to be a card that basically made Scum and Villainy ignore Banthas. Okay. Coruscant uncommon. Oop, I see a pretty good card right in the next stack. Reflections 2 Premium, Dark Maneuvers and Talon Roll. Oop, 3 of those, nice. It's worth a couple bucks. Double back. It's not a rare, but it's a neat card. Cool picture. Let's go get a bounty hunter. And I like this card a lot too, being able to draw the top 3 or show the top 3 cards of your deck and then play any characters, vehicles, or starships for free. There's counters to it in the modern game, but it's pretty neat regardless. Gix. Oops. These must be older cards because you can't just leaf through them like you can the newer ones. Hidden Weapons is nice. I'm actually short on a Heavy Fire Zone. I use it in a lot of decks, so I might be a shorter couple for my sets. Common, uncommon sets. I don't really sell complete sets. Imperial Barrier. We're going to see a bunch of white borders of that. Code Cylinder. See if there's any more surprises in here. About halfway through this column. Imperial Tyranny. I get that mixed up with Empire's New Order sometimes, which is a rare effect. That's a good card. The Bounty Hunter for his weapon, Add a Battle Destiny. It's in a lot of my decks, so I'm usually short on copies from what I sell. One of my favorite cards. Basically, if there's a Destiny 6 device in your use pile, it doesn't have to be 6, but I try to get them in there, add 6 to your power. It's a good card for blowouts. Mix that with Tauntaun Bones and you can add 12 to your total power. Monox. So a lot of Coruscant commons and uncommons in here. Shuffle your opponent's reserve deck. You can do that a lot of times. And we got a combo card. Another Coruscant common. I do like this card a lot. I mean, it's mainly a starting interrupt, but if you play it, you can put a card from your hand on your force pile. So put a Destiny 5 interrupt back in your deck, and then put a card that you didn't need in your hand, maybe a High Destiny card in your force pile right before you use that force. And keep a lot of High Destiny cards in your deck while not having too much, while not having too little force. So, one of the most important starting interrupts in the game lets you play 3 effects. Oh, I get this card mixed up with Tarkin's Orders. Tarkin's Orders is a premium from the sealed deck. Scanning Crew. Man, that card's annoying. Which is probably why there's so many counters for it. Okay, sense. Yeah, if you search your opponent's hand for 1 force, which is kind of crazy, and then if you find a rebel there, you can place that rebel in their use pile. So I remember in some sealed deck games, you know, they just got Obi-Wan into their hand and they're going to deploy him, and you can search through and toss Obi-Wan back in their deck and ruin their plans. It's happened to me too. Pretty brutal card. Alright, getting into the S's here. Tequila. Lets you switch Battle Destinies. Talon Roll non-combo. There's Tarkin's Orders, the one I was mentioning earlier. This one's... It's interesting. It looks like it's in good shape. The gloss is good when I feel it. It feels kind of dusty almost. But that's not as a... means it's dusty. It's like the gloss isn't quite right. But it doesn't look like it was shuffle worn, but I've seen that, I guess, felt it before. Oh, another Tarkin's Orders. I thought when I picked up the stack I didn't see one. So, real good organization here. I'm going to have to try to remember to, well, would I sort it backwards? Well, I mean, essentially I can, when I go through this, I'll go by card type and by set, and I can sort of backform common and uncommon sets from this if I do it carefully, and then just search for gaps and figure out my own stock. And that would be really nice if I could just make common and uncommon sets from this, and then maybe sell them in combined lots. Ooh, that's a beat up trooper set back. That one's a little bit too beat up to keep in there with everything else, but overall these are in real nice shape. This is probably stuff that, you know, was gotten in packs and put in a box with all the extras. I think he said he took out 4 of every card and put the rest in here. So we're going to see those other boxes in different videos. Alright. Last stack, and I think we'll call it good for this video. But getting a lot of Coruscant Senators here. Jawas 2. Man, he bought a, this is kind of exciting to see all these Coruscant commons, because then when I get to the rares, it's still one of the best, most valuable desired after sets. So that's okay. Well, look at that. We got a Jabba. So probably our first real main character that we got in the box. And he's a premium from the sealed deck. So I wonder if he bought 5, maybe 6 sealed decks, just bought a box of sealed decks, but if he took 4 of everything out, that would make sense if there's one left over, but we'll see. Alright, so that's, we got 3 more columns to go. We'll see in terms of time what we do with that, but definitely more videos coming with this collection, and I hope you tune in for those. We found a few gems in there, so hopefully find a few more in the remaining columns. Thanks for watching.